Hey guys, it's Bree. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your reading year. Welcome to 2019. I'm hoping it's gonna be a better one than the last. So I wanna talk about a couple of my reading goals, and then we're going to talk about my very first TBR of the year. So if you saw my Goodreads video that I posted earlier this week, you're gonna know that 2018 didn't actually pan out to be fantastic for me. I think it was for a number of reasons, a lot of which were just kind of mental and feeling kind of slumpy. But I feel a lot better, and like the last 2 weeks I've been feeling really much more myself, which is a real relief. And I'm super excited to start enjoying my reading life again. So as far as goals, I really want to focus less on numbers and more on the way that I am enjoying myself. I want to be doing a couple of different things for the channel, but mostly I just want to get back to loving reading. And I think I'm on a good start. I'm going to put my Goodreads goal for 100 books. That's what I've put it for a while now. I normally do way more than that, but we're gonna see, because this last year I really only hit about 70 books maybe. I don't have an accurate count because I wound up dropping off the face of the planet when it comes to Goodreads. I'm also going to go ahead and start trying to read down my TBR. I'm gonna do a video on that individually a little bit later because holy moly. I have some budget goals in mind, and if I'm doing things right, I am reading what I already have. So that puts about 112 books that I have. That doesn't include books that I'm sure will come to me throughout the year, or ones that will be given to me. I'm also giving myself a 1 book a month buy limit. I have already spent that for January. I ordered In an Absent Dream, which is the new Seanan McGuire novella. So we have no new books coming in for a while, at least not of my own purchase, and I'm kind of excited for that. There are going to be a couple of exceptions, mostly just that if somebody comes into town, and that's kind of how we know each other. For instance, there's some talk about maybe having some visitors from BookTube and the bookish internet to come and visit. And we go out and buy books. I will not stop myself from buying books at those points. That will be very much a rare exception. And then when I go to Worldcon, I am planning on, of course, purchasing books and souvenirs. And I'm not going to feel too hard on myself if I go a little bit outside of my budget for those. I think that they're pretty big deals, and I don't travel terribly much. In fact, really the only time I travel anywhere kind of out of the ordinary is for Worldcon, and I love getting to spend that time with my friends, and like they give me all of the suggestions and I get to read all of the books they've told me that I'll love, and it's amazing. I'm also going to be working on a really fun project this year, which is that I'm going to do a quilt for every book I read. That is not like 100 quilts, that is 1 quilt with a different patch for every book I read. And I'm going to do it, I think, in stripes. The question is if I do them horizontally or like diagonally or something. Each of these 6 fabrics is going to represent a different genre or subgenre. So I'm planning on doing one for fantasy, one for science fiction that's like hard science fiction, one for soft science fiction, some for nonfiction, one for kind of miscellaneous, and then I haven't really determined what the 6th one is going to be, but I'm sure that given my reading habits, I will notice something kind of come out of the woodwork. I might do it for comics. And I think that that will give me a really cool kind of striped effect. We'll see if like in 10 years if I remember what each color was, which I probably won't. On top of that, I'm going to be doing this project with a couple of friends of mine who are choosing to knit or crochet their blankets. I just happen to be better at quilting than I am at knitting and crocheting. So I will be joined in this endeavor by Claire from Claire Russo, Rachel from Colonnati, Chelsea from The Reading Outlaw, and a couple of our other friends. And I invite you to join us too. At the end of the month, I'm going to see about doing a quick time-lapse video where you can see the actual assembly of the quilt. I'm aiming for a queen size because that's the size of bed I have, but a little intimidating. As far as this channel goes, I really want to get back to doing reviews. I feel like I have fallen on the wayside of doing reviews, and I want to do a bunch of just really fun, new creative things. I want to embrace the fact that I have kind of a platform in the world and that I can do fun things with it. I'm not sure what that will mean or how it will manifest, but I feel good about that. So let's go ahead and get into the books. I've actually already finished 2 books, which feels so good. And I'm really excited because they were both fantastic. The first one was one of the Outspoken Authors series installations, the one about Ursula K. Le Guin, which was an amazing read and had all sorts of interesting nonfiction essays and an interview with her, as well as The Wild Girls, which is a short story that will break your whole heart. And I finished a copy of Summer in Orcus, which is by T. Kingfisher, also known as Ursula Vernon, and that was a bit of a tough story. I went and I was going to spend part of my late afternoon reading in the bathtub. I was super excited to do it, and I filled up the tub, put the book in right by the tub, and went to go and grab a cup of tea. And I came back and the book was in the water. But it's okay. I happen to have it on ebook, which I didn't realize I had it on ebook, so I probably should take a better stock of that. And I have finished that up and it was quite enjoyable. As far as what remains on my list for the month, I have Mammoths of the Great Plains. This is by Eleanor Arneson. It's an installation in the Outspoken Authors series. I have just gotten maybe 15 pages into the short story that's kind of the preface for what's going on and gives you a taste of the author themselves. I'm really looking forward to finishing this, and that will be the second installation in the Outspoken Authors series that I will have completed. And I'm really liking them so far. Rachel over at Culinati actually turned me on to these when we were at Worldcon in San Jose this year. Also on my list is a reappearance of a book that had been on a previous TBR. This is Lab Girl. It's by Hope Yaren. And I didn't finish this the first time I went and put it on a TBR list. In fact, I think I wound up that month not even picking it up at all, and so it went back on the TBR shelf. But this is a nonfiction story about a woman who is working in a lab setting and her experiences doing that. I'm really looking forward to this. I really tend to enjoy this particular type of nonfiction, especially science nonfiction, where it's kind of about the experiences of people, or kind of has a more of a narrative structure to it. And I'm hoping that this will be the next book that I get to pick up. The next 2 books are actually patron picks. Normally I run a poll where people who are subscribed or who are patrons of mine can choose one of the books that will be on my TBR list for the month. And this month there was a tie, which is fine because I only really put up books on there that I think I'll love. Because, of course. So I have Orbital Cloud by Taiyo Fuji, and I have A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe by Alex White. I actually have this one also on audio, so my plan is to start listening to it when I start getting ready for work tomorrow. So there you go. Those are my goals for the year. This is my first TBR of 2019. Let me know what you're looking forward to about this year. I think it's gonna be a good one. I'm determined to make it a good one. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. You know the drill. Comment, like, and subscribe. If you like what I do and want to support me in other ways, you can go follow me on Twitter, or go on over to my Patreon page where you can help me pick out one of the books on my TBR for the month. Talk to you later.